They're witches.
So, apparently I'm a witch.
Because she's a witch.
We've got a witch!
I'm the love witch.
I am a witch.
I am a witch.
I'm a witch!
Sally just came out.
Now the witch is back!
Yes, indeed. Good evening, everybody. I am a witch and we are going to be doing some tarot readings. Good evening to you. If you are brand new here, then there's a couple of bits that you need to know about this channel. First of all, there are two ways to get a tarot reading. The main way is to wait until I officially open the round. You'll know that because this sound effect will play. And that means that the round is open. At that point, go ahead, pop your questions into the live chat, starting with the word question. One of those will get picked at random by the keeper of the questions, and I will read for that person. The other way of getting a reading is to send a super chat. That can be done at any time, and a super chat basically guarantees that you will be the next person I read for. In that instance, the way that works is I will read for you a 3-card reading. If, however, you want to up it to a longer reading, a 6 or 7 card reading, that is available. Just make sure that your donation on the super chat is £8 Great British pounds or about $10 or above, and then that will get you the longer reading. I have gone ahead and reopened my Fiverr account, so that is, or the Fiverr gigs or whatever they call it over there, so that is up and running. I will pop the details for that into the stream in just a second. I need to, that's one thing I haven't done today. I've done everything else, and of course, as this new sign is saying, if you haven't already, please do go ahead and hit that subscribe button and then ding your bell so that YouTube lets you know each and every time I go live. So then I've got a new top-down camera today as well. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we should be on for a really good stream today. I'm hoping it's going to be a lovely stream. Normally what's been happening the last few weeks is we've been a little bit quiet on the streams, so that does mean if you are here as this is live, you've got a really good chance today of getting a reading. And as I say, if you do want a longer one going into a lot more detail, then do take the option for that there super chat. But I've got to say one thing, we do unfortunately have some really hard and fast rules on this channel. They're so strict. We are so strict with our rules. I will crack that whip. No, I'm joking. That's on another website. No, I'm joking about that as well. But we do have a few housekeeping elements. Before we go on, here's the housekeeping. Tarot is for entertainment purposes only. You do make all of your own decisions about your own life. Tarot should never be used to replace medical advice, legal advice, financial advice, or counselling advice. If you're looking for support in these areas, please do seek out professionals in these areas. You do have to be 18 years of age or over to get a tarot reading on this channel. And remember, please don't share private information here or anywhere else on the internet that you wouldn't want anyone or everyone finding out about now or any time in the future. Thank you, Patricia. I was just literally saying I'm very lucky to have some moderators on this channel, and Patricia is one of them. And you can tell that because on the actual live, not when I pull them up for some reason, but on the actual live, Patricia's name is in blue, and the little spanner or wrench is next to her name. So we've got a few moderators on the channel, and they may or may not pop in as we go through. But yes, AM, thank you. It was muted. Yes, I know. I pressed the button on my little thing down here and I forgot to unpress it, if that makes sense, or press it again to unmute. So yeah, it's been, I hope everybody's had a really good week. Spring is definitely here in the UK, although I've got to say my radiator is on. Why is the radiator on? It can't have dropped below 16 degrees, which is what the central heating is set to. It's a nice warm stonking day today, so I've got no idea why that has happened. But no, it's been, I'm having a reasonably good week. Health wise, it's all over the place, but yeah, unfortunately I did miss Sunday's stream, so apologies to everybody if you were waiting for me on Sunday. Yeah, apologies. It was very, very last minute, but to all the members out there, I will reschedule and I will put in a longer members only, possibly for this Friday. I will let you know tomorrow afternoon. Once I know what's happening on the weekend, I will let you know for the members only. So yeah, that hasn't gone anywhere, so don't worry about that. Right then, I've got no idea how many people are watching, where we're at with all of that or anything, but I will say today's tarot deck I'm using, once again, the bit of blue tack on it, the Fifth Spirit deck. This, I adore this deck. I think it is so welcoming and inclusive, because inclusivity is not a dirty word, but it is such an inclusive and warm deck, but it is very much like a best friend. Okay, this is not a fluffy reading. This is not an acquaintance reading. Do you know what I mean by that? So an acquaintance might say to you, oh, I've not seen you in ages. You all right? And what they really mean is, oh, I've not seen you in ages. Oh my God, you look rough. But this is more of a very, very close or best friend deck. So this deck, if it was a friend, would say, oh my God, I've not seen you in ages. Are you all right? Because I've got to say, you ain't looking your best. Like, should we go for a coffee? Come and sit down. You look like you need I tell you what, shall we get a bottle of vodka? Because I think you need that more than a bloody coffee. That is the sort of deck that I work with, and I love that sort of energy. Now, if you are brand new here, you may not know, I do have dragons. What the heck am I talking about when it comes to dragons? Well, I will put it in the live chat. There you go. There is a link there to the podcast episode all about Lisa and her dragons. Yep, they are actually egregores or servitors. They are thought forms created and programmed and all of that. And the reason I'm bringing that up is that Wispy, who is the air dragon, Wispy is the one who helps with the tarot. He basically goes backwards and forwards to the Akashic records and gets me the knowledge of the Akashic records. So if you hear me talking about my dragon, I haven't gone fully bonkers. Well, no more than usual, and that's the reason why. Nidhi Rowds, good evening to you. I'm looking beautiful today. Thank you ever so much. I've gone for teal today. Normally, as you all know, I'm a purple and black girly, hence all the purple colouring on everything. But today, so my husband's favourite colour in the whole wide world is teal. So I thought, you know what, today we'll have a bit of teal. I'm wearing teal trousers, some nice cotton summery trousers. I've got a teal top on, and I thought, I'll take it the whole hog with the makeup. I very nearly put on a teal lipstick, but unfortunately, fortunately, it dried up. So it was a bit much. Do you know what I mean? It was a bit mutton dressed as a punk rocker. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know, that's all I'm going to say on it. It's a little bit much. Do you know what I mean? Now, listen, I'm not saying that if you are my age, like nearly 40, I'm not saying that you are, I know, right? Look at that. I slipped that in. Nobody noticed. I am not saying that you cannot wear teal coloured lipstick or bright colours or whatever else going into your more advanced years. Unfortunately for me, though, it's never suited me. I like pretending it does, but it's never suited me. Anyway, I am talking nonsense. Thank you, Neil. Neil's telling me I am sounding very echoey. Let me just see. Oh, gosh. Does that sound better? Hopefully that sounds better. I didn't know that was... Can I turn it off? No, hang on. I've got an effect thing on here. There you go. I've turned it off. So hopefully now that should sound better. It's a thing. I don't know. But hopefully that has now fixed it. Let me know in the chat if that sounds much more... I wouldn't say normal, but thank you. It's better. Thank you ever so much, Neil. So yes, do check out the podcast episodes that me and Neil have up as well. There will be more of those coming at some point later in the year. So do keep an eye out for those. Right then, I do believe I have been changed for the better. No, I do. I still haven't rewatched Wicked. We saw it at the cinema. I've got it on the Blu-ray, and we still haven't watched it again yet. But I have been watching lots of Idina Menzel and Kirsten Chenoweth singing the songs from Wicked. So apologies with my ADHD. Sometimes if a song has been played or I've been playing a song a fair bit, then it does translate into my everyday life and I do find myself singing it. You're lucky, because earlier on yesterday I was obsessed with Abracadabra by Lady Gaga, mixed up or mashed up with Anxiety by Doechii, with a little bit of Chapel Rowan. I know, right? Look at me, down with the kids. I am so down with the kids, innit? But yeah, that's what I was singing it along in the car, mashing up those three songs, and Rufus was rolling his eyes at me. I know. So luckily, I can't remember now as I'm sat here what the Chapel Rowan song sounds like. So you're lucky, because I'm not going to even attempt that right now, because it is tarot time. It is time. It's 7:15. I'm going to try very hard tonight not to get distracted, not to go down those temporal distractions, temporal side quests that I tend to go on. I'm going to try extremely hard to be in and out with the tarot readings, one every 15 minutes, unless somebody requests a longer reading, to try and get through some more. That is my goal. Let's see how that goes. So then, everybody, I think it is time. It is time to open the very first round. So I will pop that into the live chat now, which I did have up on my screen. It seems to have disappeared a wee bit. There you go. So the round is open. Thank you very much, AM. It sounds clearer and sharp now. So the round is open. So then it is time. Get yourself a free tarot reading, or get yourself in with a chance of a free tarot reading, by simply putting the word question at the start of your comment. Then pop your question in. If you want to guarantee it, you can do the super chat and take advantage of that. Don't forget, any money that we make on this channel, once YouTube takes its 30% off the top end, whatever's left, whatever we get on a monthly basis, 10% goes to the PDSA here in the UK, which is the People's Dispensary for Sick Animals. That helps. It's a hospital charity for animals, or veterinary charity for animals, whose humans otherwise would struggle to cover the costs of their veterinary care. They do emergency surgeries. They help waifs and strays and animals you find on the side of the street that have been injured or whatever. They are an amazing charity. We also send 10% across to one of the local homeless shelter here in Leeds as well. It's called St George's Crypt. So they get a regular donation of 10% of the money that we make on the YouTubes. So then, if you would like to take advantage of that offer with the super chats, that is available. If not, it is time. You've got about 30 seconds to get your question in, and then the keeper of the questions will decide who gets the very first reading. So I think today we're going to go directly to Stonehenge. Ask your question now. Send your question as a super chat to guarantee your 3-card reading is next. Donations of $10 or £8 or over will receive a longer 6 or 7 card reading. To try for a free reading, write your question in the live chat, starting with the word question. If no super chats come in, a free question will be chosen at random. And if you need help, just ask one of our mods. Yes, indeed. Do ask our mods. You can always spot a moderator. They are in the blue. Their name is in blue. And as I say, there is a little wrench next to their name. That's how you can always spot who is a mod. So then let's have a wee look. It looks like AM. By default, my darling, you have asked the first and only question on this very early round. So, my darling, you will be getting today's very first reading. So, I've got your question. I will pop it up on screen. There we go. And I'm going to swap to the other camera. Hopefully this looks a lot clearer now. Yes, it does. It's a little bit, maybe I need to adjust it just ever so slightly, but I think it looks absolutely, well, it looks fine, doesn't it really? It looks fine. So I am just going to ever so slightly pull it up a wee bit on my screen just so that you can see the same as I can. There we go. And of course, I'll bring myself in. Oh, bear with me just 1 second. There we go. There we go. Fantastic. So then that is me there in the corner. Hello. So then, AM, let's have a look at your question. How will your first girlfriend be like? You are a woman attracted to women. Hello, my darling. Welcome to you. This is an incredibly friendly and warm, respectful place for anybody on the LGBT spectrum. We've got moderators who hang on a second. We've got moderators who are bisexual. We've got moderators who are trans. We've got moderators who are non-binary. We've even got a moderator who, believe it or not, is heterosexual. I know that's a bit weird and out there these days, isn't it? I'm joking, of course, but it basically means that on this channel you are always going to find a warm welcome. We pride ourselves in that, and I do think that that is something that is incredibly important for our LGBTQIA plus subscribers and members of the wider community. So good evening to you. So then, congratulations. I take it you have recently come out if you're looking for your first girlfriend, and let's see if we can get any knowledge. I'm just going to cough. Bear with me 1 second. Oh, you know, sometimes when you can just feel a tickle, just felt a little tickle at the back of my throat there. So we're going to cleanse the space as we normally do, like so. I'm going to bring in my air dragon Wispy. So then, Wispy, AM is looking for their very first girlfriend. AM is a woman attracted to women, and we've got a lovely rainbow emoji in the chat. I love rainbow emojis. So then we are very warm and welcoming of the Rainbow Alliance, or the Rainbow Mafia. Yeah, the Rainbow Mafia. That's what we are here. So then, obviously, as an openly trans woman in a very unorthodox long-term relationship, I am more than proud to welcome our siblings here. Right then, let's have a wee look. So we are going to cut the cards and let's see where we are. So let's have a look. So Wispy, we're going to go with the, I'll tell you what, we're just going to go with all three. We're going to read all three together. Okay, how about that for once? So then let's have a look at how the three drop, because you're looking at how somebody will be. Okay, right then. So if this is about your new partner, right, or your potential partner that's out there, this is looking really interesting because we've got the Strength card coming up, first of all. Now, Strength is one of the major arcana cards, my darling. So this is all about somebody who is outwardly very strong, but you'll notice this card is reversed. Now, this is, I would say this is somebody who is willing and able to be vulnerable. Okay, now for me, that's something I find incredibly hard, incredibly difficult, but it feels like whoever your partner is, whoever your future sort of girlfriend is, it feels like this Strength on the outside, it looks like they will be outwardly quite capable, quite fearless, because this Strength card is a lot of inner strength, right? So that will manifest through. But it feels, because this is reversed, it's really giving me this impression of somebody who not just has a vulnerability, because we all have vulnerabilities, but somebody who is able to put that strength to one side and express that vulnerability. Now, I think that is something that is incredibly endearing about a partner, and it shows people who are very emotionally intelligent. Do you know what I mean? There's somebody who is able to admit when they're scared and ask for help and ask for, ask for assistance, or ask for somebody to be there when they need them. Do you know what I mean? And that for me is a really, really massive trait. So straight off, this card, it's giving that really, really good element there. Do you know what I'm saying? It's giving that element of, yeah, this person's going to be, there'll be a shoulder to cry on, but sometimes she might need that shoulder to cry on, and she's the type of person who will be able to ask for it, if that makes sense. Next, we've got the Knight of Pentacles. Now, Pentacles is interesting because it's work, career, finances, but it's also the suit of growth. Because the Pentacles are related to earth energy in the tarot, it's giving that idea of this is somebody who isn't afraid, because the Knights don't tend to be afraid of growing. Now, whether that is emotional growth, or whether that is somebody who is able to, progress through in a relationship, it could also be somebody who is actually maybe a certain amount of financial, I wouldn't say financial independence, because that makes it sound like they're, wealthy. But I do think it's somebody who is able to look after themselves in that financial element. So they're probably working. They've probably got a reasonably good job. The Knight would give somebody who is perhaps a little bit quick. So maybe it's somebody who's had several different jobs, moves on, doesn't like where they are, so they move on to the next career, move on. That camera's going to refocus. There you go. It's because I keep waving my arms around. But yeah, it does feel as if it's somebody who probably has had several jobs, but moves to the next one as a promotion, as a step up. Okay, that's it feels very, is it classed, sorry, hang on, let me just get my generations right. Is it very Gen X that they do that? Do you know what I mean? Where it's like they don't necessarily stay within a company for 50 years. They actively try and progress up that corporate ladder a little bit. That teenage vibe is giving me that it's somebody who does want to get ahead in that financial element. But we'll see. I do also think, now this Three of Swords, this is going to sound the most generic thing ever, right? And I'll explain why it isn't. It's somebody who has had their heart broken in the past. Right. Now, obviously, that sounds like something that I never do on this channel, which is a load of old cold reading generalized BS, right? And I mean this from the perspective of, this card is somebody who's had their heart broken, right, and healed it and has moved on. So they are somebody who may have a little bit of baggage with them around relationships, right, or a serious relationship. But because this is reversed, it's something that is, it feels, not only is this in the past, it also feels like this is somebody who is kind of okay with having had that. They've kind of healed from the wounds, because this card in this particular deck, if I swap back over to the other camera, you can see this card is quite clearly being stitched and repaired. We've got these needles and threads that are here, and the needles and threads are sewing the wounds shut. They are healing this particular card. So you've got this element of a heartbreak. Now, normally the Three of Swords denotes a heartbreak, but with this being reversed, as I say, it is somebody who has gone through that and has come out the other side probably stronger, with that vulnerability coming in again there from the relationship side. But it feels like it's somebody who is very sure of what they want relationship wise. Do you know what I mean? They're not somebody who is going to just be like, you'll do. Do you know what I mean? Which is a really, really good place for this new girlfriend, or this first girlfriend, to be in, because it kind of feels like, again, Wispy, thank you. Don't take this the wrong way, but it kind of feels that you might need somebody with a little more experience to help guide you through those, the first woman loves woman relationship. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't know whether you've had male partners in the past, or non-binary partners, or no partners, but it is, every relationship is different. And if you are somebody who is starting out on that romance, that love, that relationship journey, then having a partner who's, not necessarily experiencing everything for the first time, who can kind of take your hand a little bit and guide you on some of the discovery moments of what being in a relationship means, is probably a really handy thing. Hopefully that makes sense, and I'm not offending you by saying that. I just know that for somebody that is, if you are somebody that is just coming out, it feels like that is a big thing. You know what I mean? It's a big thing for you to deal with. And finding that first partner, it can be very easy to instantly fall in love and do everything that that partner wants. But hopefully, if your first partner is somebody who is, how can I put it? If somebody who has gone through a little bit of heartache, a little bit of relationships, somebody who's, not, this isn't their first time round the block, if you get my drift, then that is a really good place to be in terms of a relationship, because they can help guide you, and also they may well have some other, how can I put this delicately, tips and tricks that might be fun to discover, if you know what I mean. And with that, my darling, I'm going to leave it there before I go into a very other conversation that you'd have to have on a premium website, if that makes sense. So thank you ever so much for your question, my darling. It does feel very much from these three cards, there's nothing here that suggests that it's going to be a million miles away in length of time either. It doesn't feel as if this is like, years and years and years down the line. It does feel as if this could be, I'm getting purely and simply, right? Let me show you. Purely and simply based on the fact, and again, this might be me reading far too much into it, but I'm a tarot reader. It's kind of what I do. The fact that this Knight of Pentacles has shorts on and is giving perhaps a summery vibe, and the fact that this person in the Strength card is also in cotton top and shorts. Look out for this summer. That's all I'm going to say, my darling. Look out for this summer, because it may well be that your first girlfriend may well be popping up around the summer. Now, that doesn't mean you don't have to do the work. It doesn't mean that you can just sit at home and not meet anybody and someone's going to come knocking on your door. Hello, I'm ready to take you out and let's go on our first date. And that's probably not going to happen, my darling. But what it means is get yourself out there, get yourself socializing, meet some new people, and one of those new people you meet may well be something that turns into something rather special. Okay, I hope that helps, my love. I really, really do. And of course, thank you ever so much for your question. Right then, let's have a look in the chat. Thank you very much for your super chat, NY. I will be coming to you next. Let me have a look. AM, vulnerability is such a turn on and green flag for you. Yay! That's good. That's good. That was literally the first thing out of my mouth when I saw, or first thing in my head when I saw that Strength card reversed. She's given strong but soft inside energy. Absolutely, like an armadillo. There was an advert for a chocolate bar. I don't know whether it was worldwide, but it was definitely in the UK. And it was soft on the outside, crunchy on the inside. But in the advert, they went crunchy on the outside, soft on the inside, armadillo. So that's where that comes from. That's interesting. She and you are alike in terms of not staying in one company for years, and also the moving on from any past heartaches. Absolutely. And I think that Three of Swords card, right, it is such a fundamental card of going through an incredibly tough time. The fact that it's reversed is saying this is very much behind you. This is very much something that they've gone through. They're out the other side. They've healed from, but they have that experience. Do you know what I mean? And I think that is something important. Now, you can have relationships where both people are discovering each other for the very first time, or discovering relationships for the very first time. But they tend to be, they tend to have their own issues. Okay. So for me, I do think a sort of relationship where somebody's, you know, a bit more used to dating and having longer term relationships, and somebody might be a little more fresh into this. I think that's a really good balance. But again, I'm just a stranger on the internet. What do I know about anything? You haven't had any relationships with men either, but you do understand. You think if they are more experienced, they will help you understand relationships better. Hopefully, my darling. Absolutely, hopefully. It's summer months already currently there. Where are you then? Whereabouts in the world is it already summer, my darling? We're here in the UK, and it is it's very early, late spring, early summer, if that makes sense. Best of luck, my darling. Absolutely. All the very, very best of luck. And you'll have to let us know. Make sure you do pop in again in, well, I mean, you can come back. We stream every Tuesday and Sunday normally at 7 p.m. UK time. So do pop in whenever. But especially once you are in that sort of nice, cozy relationship vibe, make sure you pop in then, because yeah, we're all very nosy and we want to know all about her. So then, I hope that helps. Good evening to Ruchi Kumar, and of course, good evening to NY. I'm going to go straight across now to NY because we have a super chat reading. So then, NY, your reading is coming up right now. Let me just swap this camera over and bear with me just 1 second. I just want to make sure that I don't have to constantly have it adjusting. I think that should be fine. Yeah, well, thereabouts. Right then, so then let's have a look. So NY would like to know, what did Timothy feel when he saw me for the second time? Interesting. Right then, I'm gonna hit the music, bring in Wispy. There we go. And of course, I'm going to bring myself in. Which one am I? Which one is that one? There we go. So then, Wispy, NY would like to know, is it NY or is it Nye? Maybe your name is Nye and I'm just completely like making a fool of myself. But anyway, Nye would like to know, what did Timothy feel when he saw me for the second time? Hopefully you mean like as in saw you in person, not, you know, across a car park with a pair of binoculars leaning out of a slightly dodgy 1970s van. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully not that. Hopefully not that. But let's have a look. So then, Wispy, NY wants to know, what did Timothy feel when he saw me for the second time? Let's have a look, my darling. So we're doing a 3-card reading, and we'll go with, I tell you what, we'll phrase it this way, where Timothy is right now in terms of what Timothy is thinking, what you need to know about that, and what the future outcome is going to be. Okay, so instead of going where you are, we'll go with where Timothy is right now, what you need to know about how Timothy is feeling, and what that future outcome could be. Right then, Wispy, we've had a card drop, but it didn't land upright, so it doesn't count. Here we go. Don't forget. Oh, now then, you saw that. As soon as I said it didn't count, we've got a card that has flipped. Now, this is significant for a couple of reasons. One, when a card flips in the way it has done, like this, it basically means that this is a clarifying or modifying card. Now, what I mean by that is very simply that this card changes the cards that I'm about to lay down for the reading. Okay, and what I mean by that again is that the Emperor card, this is now going to be the focus, if you like. This is going to be the lens that we look at the other cards through. Now the Emperor itself is a card that is all about authority. Okay, so the Emperor, when we look at the tarot deck as a whole, the major arcana, so the ones that are numbered with names, they're the Emperor, the Empress, the Lovers, the Death card, the Devil card, the Fool, all of those ones. These are the big shouty cards. These are the really important cards in the deck. Okay, the Emperor is in overall charge of the entire deck. So the Emperor runs the entire deck. Okay, and for me what that means is the buck stops here. The Empress deals with the more emotional, the Emperor deals with the sort of, how can I put it, the operational side of things. So this card feels like it's somebody who likes to know what they're doing, likes to get things done, and perhaps likes that authoritative role. Do you know what I mean? So we'll see how this develops as we go through with this card. As a clarifying card, whenever a card does do that, it flips up in the deck or it turns itself inside out. That's when we stop shuffling and cut the cards. So then, let's have a look now as to where we go. So, what Timothy is feeling. Ooh. The Two of Swords. Okay. Okay, I'll get to it. The Two of Pentacles coming up reversed in what you need to know. And the Magician coming up in the way forward. Right, again, the Magician is another one of those numbered named cards. Okay, so my darling, I don't know what your current relationship with Timothy is like, but the fact that we've got the Two of Swords coming up is a little bit of perhaps a concern. Okay, so for me, swords are all about trouble and strife. They are the hurdles and challenges in life. Bear with me. So this card is looking at crossed swords. Okay, so the Two of Swords, two different people with a crossing over of opinions or crossed words, and so this feels like, I don't know whether you and Timothy have had a falling out, whether there is some animosity there, but it does very much feel as if where Timothy is, there is a little bit of, how can we put this, Wispy? It feels like there is a bit of a disconnect, at least, put it that way. Whether this is a misunderstanding, whether this is something that can be easily resolved or not, we'll get to. But it does really feel, especially with this authority card, I don't know the nature of your relationship, but it almost feels like, oh, I just had a message pop up. I thought it was from the mods. It wasn't. It was an advert that popped up on my WhatsApp. That's good. That's always fun when you're live streaming. Anyway, so I do think there is a disconnect here, Nye, and I don't know whether that is because of the way that you two have interacted, or whether it's because there is some sort of it feels very cold, right? With this Emperor card, the thing about the Emperors is they have to make tough decisions, right? And they don't tend to let their emotional side make those decisions. If it was the Empress, it would be very different. We'd be looking at, you know, somebody who makes a lot of decisions based around that empathy element that the Empress is famous for. With the Emperor, it's a lot more cold cut. Is that right? Does that make sense? I think that's the phrase. So I kind of get the impression from this and the two that there isn't a lot of friendly energy between you, and I would even say more than that, it feels like there is potentially some animosity from Timothy's side. Okay, I don't know obviously what the reason for that is, but the Two of Swords is very much, this is where you have a falling out, this is where you have a disagreement on a fundamental level. So this could be that the two of you, I don't know where you are in the world, but it would be as similar as an American Republican and a Democrat having very different views about Trump or Clinton or whoever. Do you know what I mean? It's something that feels quite fundamental. The reason I'm saying that this feels very much like you're both either very different people or wanting very different things, is because this is where you are. This is where Timothy is. In the card that is what you need to know, I've got another two. It's Pentacles, which could possibly be a work-related issue, but it's reversed. Now, you heard me talking earlier, Wispy, the relationship that I've developed with the cards, especially with this particular deck, the Pentacles, if it isn't directly related to work, so if you do work together, that's one thing. If it isn't, if it is a friend or a relationship type of a couple type relationship, then it doesn't feel as if there is any growth here, because the Pentacles, that earth element gives us that growth, and Pentacles is very the 2 is very much about people coming together. When a 2 is reversed, it can quite often mean a separation, and in this case, with that Pentacles energy coming in as well, it feels like there isn't much scope for growth here at all. It really doesn't feel as if there is a warm like a nice warm romantic glow of a connection. Does that make sense? Because we've also got in the potential future outcome, we've got the Magician. Now the Magician can be a wonderful card, okay, and it can be all about having the tools at your disposal to shape the universe around you. The other side of the Magician is that it can sometimes be used in terms of, instead of manifesting a future, it could be a manipulation element. Now, although in this case, this Magician isn't reversed, it's almost saying, look, if you wanted to change the type of relationship that you and Timothy have, then it could well be that you are going to need to make some changes in that relationship. It might have to come from you. Okay, so it's almost like it's almost like if you wanted to be in a relationship with Timothy's got some very firm ideas about the type of person he wants to be with. Does that make sense? And that is really screaming at me a little bit of a red flag. It's almost like this card is saying, look, I can only be with people who are 5'7" or above, and you come in at 5'6", which is great, except it means you are going to have to slightly stand on your tiptoes every single day, or get leg extensions, which I don't think is a thing. Do you know what I mean? And I know that's being really flippant, or it could be that for Timothy, his line in the sand is that he can only be with people who are, you know, very, very interested in world affairs and politics, and you might not have the foggiest idea. You do not care about any of that stuff, but to be with Timothy, you're going to have to go and change all of that stuff so that you can have those conversations. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is, my question would be, if this is where Timothy is right now, is that actually worth it? Is it worth putting in all of that monumental effort to change just to appease a rather perhaps unbending emperor? I don't know. It doesn't feel as if this Magician is saying change for Timothy. It's almost saying it's almost saying, my darling, that there is other more beneficial connections for you out there, and to manifest that. Does that make sense? Because these two cards, fundamentally, it doesn't. And again, tarot is only for entertainment purposes. You make all your own decisions about your own life, but it doesn't feel as if these two are denoting any compatibility there in terms of a relationship. And it's almost that the cards are saying, look, you've got all of these tools at your disposal. You've got everything that you need to manifest a wonderful life for you. Maybe look towards that future. And then if Timothy wants to join you in that wonderful life with that lovely future, then, you know, head that way. That's something that can be done later. But I would not use all of your magical energy, all of that magician's power, just to appease a slightly authoritarian emperor. But again, you make all those decisions about your life. I know a lot of people who change a lot of things about who they are and how they present to be with partners. It's entirely up to you, my darling, but I hope that helps. It doesn't feel, I've got to say with these two cards though, it doesn't feel as if there is that initial spark of connection there. But again, I wish you nothing but the very best. And thank you very much for your question and indeed your super chat. Right, let's have a look in the chat. Talking about the chat. Oh, Aesthetic Delta. Hello, Aesthetic Delta. Good evening, my darling. Hi. Nanette's here as well. Hang on. Do I need to go further back in the chat? Have I missed loads of people? Holland's here as well. Right. Okay. Good evening to people. It is. Oh, Nee. Okay, my darling. Nee. Thank you. You met up on vacation. Okay. In that case, it's probably might just be a holiday fling. Great to catch up with you again, Nicole and Leah. Entertaining alternate options. I feel our recent falling off has led her to what? Lower you as priority of her and her energy as well. I don't know what that means, my darling. Is that a question? Are you wanting a question for the tarot? Is that what you're saying? If it is, my darling, we've got. I'll open another round very, very soon. Holland's saying hello to Nanette. It's a very new relationship. Then in that case, my darling, it might not be worth changing everything about you just for someone. You're kind of close things off. Right, in that case, my darling, listen, I think you're best out of it, to be honest. I think you are absolutely best out of it. I really, really do. Ed's going to be joining us in about half an hour. It's very new. There'll be no effort from you. Okay, my darling, but no worries at all, my darling. Listen, I think that's probably the best option. In all honesty, I think that is probably the best option. It basically means that, you're not going to be using a ton of energy and time and potentially money on something that's probably just mismatched. Do you know what I mean? You know how sometimes in families you get the matchmaker for a community or for friends, or someone who goes, oh hello, my niece Rebecca's single and your son's brother. No, that would still be your son. Your son's your cousin's son is single. Maybe Rebecca would be interested in going out with. It was Jordan, isn't it? Going out with Jordan. Yeah, maybe. Do you know what I mean? There's quite often a person that does that without knowing the compatibility. In this case, I think the cards are saying it's not compatible, and I'd leave it with you there, my darling. So let's have a look at who else is here in the chat. I think it's everybody so far, which does mean shall we have another round? I think we should, but before I hit the buttons, before we have another round, I do just want to mention that our wonderful channel memberships are actually open. And hang on a second, why have I got Stonehenge lit up? Right, thank you very much. Yeah, our memberships on the channel are now open.
Join the Crow Collective. Help to support this channel by becoming a member here on YouTube. From £2.99 per month, you will gain access to members only perks, live streams, competitions, sneak peeks and more. Just click on join for more information. Thank you to all our members.
Indeed, thank you ever so much to all of our members. Also, I'm very aware these lights keep turning off in the background. I might have to have a look at that in a second. Yeah, by the way, if you haven't already, do please do the YouTubey things. Hit the like button, the subscribe button, ding your bell, all of those lovely things that the internet tells us we've got to ask for. Right then, so it is time to open up the next round. So do please go ahead and pop your question into the live chat, starting with the word question. That will then be selected at random, or one of those, will be selected at random, and I will read for that person. The other way of getting a question read is to do what Nee just did, which is to send it through as a super chat. That guarantees your reading is the next one on the list. And if you would like a longer reading, those are available for £8 British GBP or $10 US or whatever the equivalent is. That will get you a 6 or 7 card reading, and we go into a lot more detail with those. So then, either way, do please go ahead to get your questions in. You've got about 30 seconds. We're going to go to, I tell you what, we'll go to the lovely Tree next. I've just got to say hello to Melinda Brown. Good evening, Melinda. I hope you are very well. Your doodah that I am sending you, your little your thing, I in all honesty, I went to the post office with it, and the guy from the post office said, oh, if it was in an ever so slightly smaller box, instead of it costing £8, about $10 to post, it will be 16, which is like $20 to post. So I said, okay, I've got a smaller box at home, I'll put it in. So my job tomorrow is to put it in the smaller box and then send it out to you. Also, can I just say, I know I wasn't going to do personal rants, but can I just say, anybody who's posting things to America on a regular basis, did you know we've now got to include our full name, address and telephone number? I was shocked. Anyway, get your questions in if you would like a tarot reading free of charge, or get your questions in for a super chat. That will guarantee that you are next in line. If I get more than one super chat at a time, I will of course do them in the order that they come in. I hope that helps. Anyway, here we go. You've got 30 seconds to get those questions in, everybody. 30 seconds.
Ask your question.
Yes, indeed. Sorry, I just had to change the wiring on those. So then let's have a wee look. Let's have a wee look. So let me have a wee look. Who have we got? Keeper of the questions. Who have we got, my darling? Let's have a look in the chat. The tree video is still silent. Oh. You did tell me about that, didn't you? You absolutely told me about that. Bear with 1 second. Right, let me fix that right now.
Ask your question now. Send your question as a super chat to guarantee your 3-card reading is next. Donations of $10 or £8 or over will receive a longer 6 or 7 card reading. To try for a free reading, write your question in the live chat starting with the word question. If no super chats come in, a free question will be chosen at random. And if you need help...
Did that work? Did that work? Fingers crossed that actually worked. Right then, let's have a look. It fixed it. Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Let me have a look. It looks as if we've only got one question in on that round, and it's from Aesthetic Delta. Good evening, Aesthetic Delta. What is Nicole Leo's feelings in regards to the depth of your connection? And you are called James. Nice to meet you, James. Good evening. And let's have a quick little look at the cards. Oh, I've put this light on, but look at that. It looks like we're in a bit of a discotheque. A bit of a maybe we'll just turn that ever so down ever so slightly. There you go. Maybe that's a little bit softer. Right then, let's have a look. So then oh, come on, I've hit the transition button across. Thank you very much. So let's have a look at what the cards have for you, my darling. So James, we're going to ring your bell. We can ring your bell. Ring your bell. I know, right? It's because I said discotheque, you see. That's what that link was. Right then, Wispy. James, otherwise known as Aesthetic Delta, would like to know, what is Nicole's feelings in regards to the depth of their connection? What is Nicole feeling in relation, in connection to the depth of their connection. Oh, there we go. That was a face-up one. Now, the last time Wispy gave me a face-up one, we had an immediate card flip. But it doesn't look as if we're going to have that on this round. Right then, okie dokie. So, let's... There we go. I'll change it to white because that was giving me a little bit of a weird Dayglow vibe. Right then, so Wispy, let's do your cut, James. And oh, there we go. Right then, so we're going to go with, I tell you what, we'll do the similar one to the last reading. We'll go with, first of all, what is Nicole? Where is Nicole at in terms of the relationship? Then what you need to know, and then what the possible future outcome is looking like. Okay, come on. Thank you very much. So then we have, 5 of Pentacles reversed. Okay. The 3 of Cups. Okay. And the 4 of Wands reversed. Right, okay, James. So, the 5 of Pentacles. Pentacles, as I say, is work, career, finances. But it's also, when we're looking at a relationship reading, it's also it's also about things like the growth of the coupledom, right? I don't know. Right, Wispy. My gut feeling, James, from this card is that the two of you have either had a relationship or at least a situationship for a bit of a while, right? And that whether you're wanting to change that into something more Facebook official, or whether, you know, it's happy, kind of, you're happy where it is and you're wanting to maybe see if Nicole is feeling the same. The Pentacles, because the Pentacles represent growth, the 5s are at that midpoint of the deck. Okay, so we go Ace 10, Page Knight, Queen King in the tarot deck. This is halfway through that Ace 10, right? Ace to 10. The 5s are that midway point. They're that turning point where you kind of look at everything and you go, what do I think about how we are in life, where we are right now? Is everything, am I happy with where we are so far? Am I okay with how things are going? It's that kind of moment where you stop and assess the situation, where you review the situation as said in Oliver. However, this is reversed, which I think Nicole is kind of looking at what she wants from the relationship. This card is literally, you can see, it is a mile marker. I can't remember what they're called, cairns or something. But this idea is this pile of stones shows you how far to the next pile of stones. It's like it tells you, it's a measure of distance. It's a measure of how far you've still got to go on your route. It feels like, with this card being reversed, James, it feels very much like Nicole is kind of maybe questioning where you both are in your situationship, right? It maybe you're both, or maybe Nicole is kind of looking at things and thinking, you know, that she likes you in certain ways, but maybe there's some issues, or, you know, whatever it may be. It feels very much like, for whatever reason, Nicole is looking at how far you've come and whether or not it's worth continuing on this path. Do you know what I mean? Because again, if we assume that this is high up in the Scottish Highlands, right, for example, these cairns, these markers would tell you, oh, we've got, you know, it's only another X number of yards or meters or whatever, miles to the next marker. But the one after that, we start going up onto these mountain ranges in the background. Can I really be bothered? Am I really going to go and walk all the way up that mountain? Can I really be bothered with this relationship with James? Is it going where I want? And I think it's that sort of question that Nicole is asking, if that makes sense. and it from in terms of a relationship, that's normally quite a healthy thing to question every now and then. Do you know what I mean? It's not necessarily, my screens have all gone a bit wibbly then, but it's not necessarily a bad thing to ask that question. Do you know what I mean? Taking stock of where you are and assessing where things are and where you need to go, that's not necessarily a bad thing. So just bear that in mind. It's not necessarily doom and gloom, particularly because in the what you need to know, we've got the Three of Cups. Now, threes are, for me, about what happens after the couple. Right? So it could be that you've got this, it could be that there is an element of, I don't know whether you've got a child together or whether there is, you know, plans for that, or even a fur baby or a feathered baby, as you know, a pet that you both care for. It feels here with this Three of Cups, cups is all about your emotional side. Threes for me are about the connection between two people that come together for the twos and where you go after that. So in business, in Pentacles, it would be, you know, a business connection that you then move forward into a working business or working relationship. In Cups, in the romance, in that emotional side, it would potentially be, you know, two people that come together and then how you go forward, what that step is, if that makes sense. So I think it feels like there's a pivot point kind of going on at the moment, right? And I don't know whether that's in terms of like the big life decisions, like, you know, marriage, kids, mortgage, you know, or whether that pivot point is simply actually we're going from dating to being official boyfriend, girlfriend, or official partners, or official whatever, you know, you want to say, or whether this is a get down on bended knee and propose type thing. Do you know what I mean? I don't know whether it's that deep a pivot point. It could just be that there's been a little bit of uncertainty and that actually Nicole is just checking in as to how she feels about everything. The one thing I would say though, this pentacle is reversed, so it doesn't feel as if there's a lot of growth there at the moment from Nicole's perspective. Now that could mean that you need to pay her some more attention. It could mean, again, if it's that romantic relationship, it could mean that maybe the two of you could have an open, frank discussion about what you want in the future and about where you both see things going. It could, I mean, this is by no way relationship advice, but you could always use this tarot reading and say, I was watching something on YouTube and this tarot reader was on, so I thought, oh, go on, I'll ask a question. It was free, and she read for me and she said, actually, somewhere in my life that it's a good time to check in and see how things are going in terms of relationships. So I kind of thought, do you know what, let's check in with you. Do you know what I mean? Or to say, I just kind of felt like I need to get some advice on where we are. And again, I don't know from your perspective whether that's something Nicole would say, oh, that's really good, you know, thank you for thinking about us moving forward, or whether it's something that would make her go, why did you ask a stranger about, you know what I mean? So I don't know how appropriate that would be, but it would be a good way of raising that conversation to see where things are. Do you know what I mean? In the future outcome, the Four of Wands is not, it's not a bad card, but it's not the best card to come up here, because the wands here is, fours are about stability, okay? Wands is all about security, confidence, how you see yourself, self-esteem, all of those lovely things. And so the fact that this is reversed, it's kind of taking that stability to stagnancy. And that is something that is can only end poorly in terms of a relationship. So if the two of you, if it is an emotional relationship that the two of you are in, and you're kind of at that point where, you know, you are assessing where things are going, you are assessing as to what the future may hold, then you want to almost try and avoid this stagnancy. And from looking at these cards, I think, and don't get me wrong, this isn't fixed, okay? The future opportunity cards are not fixed. This is not a fixed point in time. This isn't a Doctor Who thing. This is something where you can actually go, right, so if this is where we're on line for right now, if nothing changes. However, if we make some proactive steps, then that doesn't have to be. We don't have to slip into that stuck in a rut stagnancy that this comes in. Now, again, because this is wands rather than cups, this isn't necessarily saying 100% that this is your relationship that's going to get stuck in a rut or your relationship that's going to feel stagnant. It's almost like you need, for your own peace of mind, maybe you need to find a hobby, or you need to find something that is either something you can do together or something you can do separately. Do you know what I mean? So if the two of you spend a lot of time together, it may be that there's too much time, and that actually, you know, taking I don't know why I said dance class came to mind, but taking a class, like going and doing a painting class, or going to the gym, or going running or something, you know, or going and learning a new language. It could be anything that just shakes up that status quo a little bit for yourself. Right, for yourself, because again, the nature of this question, the fact that you're asking where Nicole is in her feelings, would seem to suggest that maybe this is a conversation that you'd be good to ask Nicole about, and either that's something that there might be a bit of difficulty in asking that question up front, or maybe you're around each other 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or, you know, not quite, but you know what I mean? Maybe you spend a lot of time together, and actually it's almost smothering, which again is where this stagnancy could be coming from. Either way, my darling, listen, I hope it helps. It does feel as if, it does genuinely, it feels as if a conversation between the two of you, and literally me and my partner have a semi-regular, we used to do it every month, but we have a similar or we have a semi-regular, that's the word I was looking for, thing where we'll just randomly, when we're in bed before we go to sleep, we'll just say to each other, how's your mental health? Should we have a little bit of a check-in? And we just double check where we both are, we double check how we're feeling, we double check, you know, where we are in terms of our relationship, how we feel, you know, if there's been a few little issues. Quite often, because of my ADHD, I will overreact to something, or I will react in a very odd way at times. And sometimes I know I'm doing it and can't help myself. Other times it feels very justified. And we've learned to have those conversations and go, you know, you were really grumpy yesterday. I felt like it was something I'd done, but I don't know what. So if it is something I'd done, can you let me know? If it isn't, what was going on yesterday? Like, what was happening for you? Do you know what I mean? And we have those check-ins after the fact, not when we're in the middle of feeling those feelings. We have them afterwards, and we'll kind of, with a cold and arm's length sort of approach, we'll say, okay, what happened on that day? And then we'll have that discussion. So I don't know whether that's something that is an option for the two of you. But anyway, I hope that helps, James. It doesn't feel as if whatever's happening is calamitous. It doesn't feel as if whatever's happening is going to be a make or break situation. But it does feel as if maybe you just need to have that check-in. And even to maybe make it, you know, every couple of months or every season if you've been together for a longer time. But I hope that helps, my darling. I really, really, really do. And listen, I wish you nothing but the very best of luck for the two of you. And thank you very much for your question. Right, let me come over here to the chat. It's manageable. What's manageable? Let me have a look. There we go. Yes, you're following. That's a very good thing, considering we've managed to work through your mishaps. Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. You've got a feathered baby. Oh, do you have a feathered baby? Is that do you have a bird? I don't know whether that means it's a funny thing, a funny expression, or whether you've got one. You've nudged her in that direction of an open convo about where we are. You've worn your heart on your sleeve and been more vulnerable than she is. Sometimes though, not everybody can be as vulnerable. Do you know what I mean? Just because you wear, and again, I'm somebody who is very, 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 my feelings are very much on show 24/7. You know what I mean? I have to really rein myself back in. My heart lives on my sleeve. It really does. It always has done. And I've always said to people, yeah, it makes it an easy target, but also it means I'm very open to throwing love around. Do you know what I mean? I care a lot about the people that I care about. I don't care about everybody, but I care a lot about the people I care about. It's totally resonating. Thank you, my darling. You think that's what's nudging her to explore outside of this connection too, if things remain the same? It could be, my darling. It could be. It's one of those things. Sometimes I mean, again, I am a very, very firm believer in counselling support when needed, and counselling support when absolutely not needed. I'm a very big believer in that as well. You'd love to bring her to dance class. She really shies from it. She likes doing her own thing. Then that's again, in that case, my darling, it may just be that she needs a little bit of alone time every now and then, and that's perfectly fine. Do you know what I mean? That is perfectly fine. If she's somebody who maybe is a little less outgoing, or just prefers a little bit of time and space alone from the rest of the world at times, maybe instead of taking her to dance class, maybe you pop along to dance class and say, do you know what, every Thursday I'm going to go to dance class, and you can, if you want, you can come with, or if you'd prefer an evening, doing your own thing and just sat reading a book and having a glass of wine, then whatever you want to do that evening is completely yours, and I will, support anything in what any way that I can. If you want to do X, Y, Z, do you know what I mean? Almost like saying, if you want an evening off from me, then I'll go and do my thing over there, and I'll be back later, or whatever. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if that sounds really like condescending. It came out of my mouth slightly different than the way I was envisaging saying it, so hopefully it doesn't sound condescending. You love that. Thank you. I totally resonate with it. Some timing stuff on your end. You've spoken openly where you need to change, and things that happened, but that's what helped. I'll melt the ice again about where she is, and as you said, you care about her. Oh my God, my darling. You want her to suggest things. Listen, one thing I have learned, okay, in relationships, I am somebody, I don't know, it's got its place from time to time. Anyway, shall we have another round? I think we should. Let me just take a slurp of my coffee. I tell you what, while I drink some coffee, how about, what have I got on the video front? How about shall we have another round? I think we should probably have another round. And to do so, look, where are we going this time? Oh, I know. This is one of my favourite places. Oh! Hold on a second. You think a shadow person visited you last night? Ed, we need more details. We need more details, Ed. In what way? In what way? Oh, in what way? We're going to need more details. Anyway, I'm going to open the round. Go ahead. Pop. Oh, why is this now disconnected? Go ahead and pop your question into that live chat, starting with the word question, and one of them will get selected at random. Am I still live? Am I still live? I think I am. I think I'm still live. Okay, everything seems to have stopped working on my little machine. So do please go ahead, pop your question into the live chat, starting with the word question, and one of those will get selected at random. Here is how you do the thing. I can't even put it on screen. Look, I can't even put it in the chat.
Ask your question now. Send your question as a super chat to guarantee your 3-card reading is next. Donations of $10 or £8 or over will receive a longer 6 or 7 card reading. To try for a free reading, write your question in the live chat starting with the word question. If no super chats come in, a free question will be chosen at random. And if you need help, just ask one of our mods.
Okay, nothing is firing the way that it should. Bear with. Did you hear that magical chime once or twice? If you heard it once, please put a 1 in the chat. If you heard it twice, please put a 2 in the chat so I can see. Because my little Stream Deck system is now not working at all. Hopefully the muting and things still work. Ed, you woke up at 2:20ish in the morning and felt a strange feeling. Looked around for Charlie Cat and saw a dark, long finger going out your window. A dark, long finger. What? Like a finger? Like. Oh. It fired twice for Holland. Twice for Nanette. Did anybody else? Did anybody get it just once? Did the shadow person do anything to you, Ed? Yeah. Did they sit on your bed, or you did call on your ancestors to look after yourself, your cat, your energy? Yeah, thank you, Patricia. If you want a question, by the way, please do go ahead. The round is officially open currently. We're just now all fascinated by what's going on with Ed. I mean, it sounds like, whatever it was, it sounds like you did the absolute best thing by calling on that ancestor energy. That is something. Ancestral work is absolutely amazing. It is a very deep and intense way of connecting to magical energies. That was a great idea. And if you don't mind me saying, maybe you should have them there tonight. Absolutely. When you go to sleep too, so that you will be safe. Absolutely. Was there any significance, James? I know, I remember then. Aesthetic Delta James would like to know, is there any significance? Oh, an actual bony finger that was about the same length as your shoes. What? That sounds terrifying, to be honest. I mean, don't get me wrong. Again, in our house, it's Rufus that gets all the spooky ghost interactions. They tend to leave me and the dogs. Our little Staffy boy quite often will go as somebody goes past. He'll growl at them. And there's been a few instances where I've seen something out the corner of my eye, and then Eddie's kind of gone, "What was that?" So, you know, it does back that up. But Rufus is the one who absolutely wholeheartedly, he's the one that gets something sat on the end of the bed, or the dressing gown inflates, or, you know, my side of the bed will go down as if I'm sat on it, but I'm actually in the lounge. You know, all of those sort of things have happened here. He's heard, you know, his name being called, all sorts of bits and pieces. So yeah, it sounds fascinating, but it also does sound quite scary. Okay, Holland is here with the mundane before magical response. Holland is here with the sort of cold hard eyes of fact. It's Holland says, on a mundane before magical note, it's common to have brief hallucinations when close to sleep, either waking or falling asleep, especially when stressed. Oh, that's a very good point. very good point, Ed. I know you've been going through a lot of stuff recently. So yeah, that is a very good point, Holland. Well made. Yeah, it could well be, Ed. There could well be a moment where your brain is going, oh, I'm a bit stressed, but I'm not quite ready to process everything that's happened through the day and all of my emotions. So maybe if I just manifest a visualization of something, then it will mean that I have to get up and move around, and maybe I'll go for a wee as well, and you know, all of those things. Again, another really good piece of advice here. Have a pen and paper next to your bed and write down immediately what is in your mind. That may be the reason for the visit. Absolutely. I sometimes will wake up in the middle of the night because I need a wee. I mean, I'm 50 next year, so that's something that does happen. And after the bladder cancer, that is something that happens a lot more often. But sometimes I will wake up and I will not need a wee, but I will wake up and I'll go, oh, and I know that whatever it is that my psyche was dealing with was either too much or something that my brain just went, what? And it snaps me up, awake out of it. But I can still, for a few seconds or a couple of minutes, I can still remember what that was. So quite often then I will either grab my phone and go, or I will grab the computer and go, make a note of, you know, or I will grab the phone and go, rah, voice recording, this is me leaving myself a message. I've done that several times. So yeah, again, you did go get Charlie Cat for cuddles and a swift check of your room. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's good. I mean, cats and dogs are very good for cuddles. It actually woke you up. I definitely think Patricia's idea for a pad of paper and a pen next to your bed will really help. Put a pair of scissors under your mattress for extra protection. Yep. Also, if you did call on your ancestors and you felt that comfort, maybe if there is something around you that is from your ancestors, maybe if there is something that you have from a past relative, or a deceased relative, I should say, maybe bring that, sounds weird, but into the bedroom with you. Maybe have that around you, and before you go to bed, maybe call on that ancestral energy to, you know, protect you from any more night terrors or whatever that was. But yeah, I do agree, Aesthetic Delta, James. I really do agree. It would freak me out as well. It would absolutely freak me out as well. You have a sword in bed with you. That's not, no, Ed. No. What happens if in the middle of the night you need a wee really desperately, so you wake up, bolt upright, and you clamber out the bed, and your sword happens to be pointing in the wrong direction, and you end up skewered on the end of it? Yeah. Knife under your pillow is probably okay, but like a sword next to your bed, on the floor next to your bed, probably fine, as long as it's not where you put your feet out. So yeah, but I would absolutely know that if I did this, my night dresses, my pajama bottoms, whatever I was wearing, because I'm imagining it's not up where your head is. Surely it's got to be. Oh God, no! If I had a sword at the end of my bed where my feet are, I would absolutely have no feet. Like, I could guarantee you'd be nicknaming me Stumpy, because my feet would be sliced off, because I kick anything that's on the end of the bed, I kick off. I just always do. So yeah, I could not. No, not with a sword. And if I did have a sword in the bed, I would have no sheets left, and probably a rather damaged mattress. As it was leaving you, it probably took your problem away with it. Absolutely. I mean, this is it. It could just be like one of the others who was just checking in. It could be something that has come as a, do you know what? It could even be something that you've manifested during the night, and because you might have been having a really bad dream. So you could have manifested a protector that took that and then kind of left in that way out the window, took whatever it was that made you manifest a protector, took it, grabbed it, took it out of the property with them, and then was just going, it's you, I've done it for you. Do you know what I mean? I'm getting visions of the, what was he called? Was it called the Night King, the Night Walker? In Game of Thrones, you know, the one with the blue eyes that was all bones, that one. Yes, of course, if anyone's going to sleep with a sword, Holland, it would be Ed. We all know that. Okay, that makes more, I mean, that is a bit more sensible. I didn't even think about a scabbard. That did not enter my brain at all. I just thought you'd be there, and knowing you, the sword is probably pretty sharp. You know, like on TikTok where they roll a watermelon down a hill and they have the sword at the end to see if it will cut through the watermelon. That's what I'm envisaging you've got, right? And then just lying, you know how when you've been in a couple for a while, you've got your side of the bed and their side of the bed, right? And whether that's your side or that's your side, right? You've got one side of the bed that is yours and one side is your partner's. So in my head, you've got your side of the bed and next to you is the sword, fully sharp, fully like ready to slice. The left side of your face was tingly, like you'd slept on it too long. You might have slept on it too long. Or old bony fingers might have given you a slap to wake you up. Don't know. I would absolutely invoke a bit of ancestor energy. Get those pictures of your passed away family members and put a photo in the room. Or although it does depend if you're engaging in any adulty activity with anybody in the room maybe, you know what I mean. You don't want, you know, Great Uncle Bob looking down at you while you're doing anything with a partner in the bedroom. Do you know what I mean? You don't want any adulty type situations happening, and then you look up to find, you know, here's your great grandmother 3 times removed on your uncle's brother's cousin's side, looking at you in that stern way that all old people used to have photos of, you know, back in day, looking like the dowager thingy from Downton Abbey, that one, Maggie Smith. Always acknowledge the visitor whenever they visit. Therefore you are always in control. Absolutely. I have a thing, right? I will never have a welcome mat on my front doorstep, because it isn't just welcoming the human type people that come into the room. It would also be welcoming anybody else, any other person or energy of interest that may decide to come into my house. Do you know what I mean? So I do not have a welcome mat. We have mats at the front door that you can wipe your feet on. That we've got big fluffy ones that the dogs, you know, walk in and out of to clean their paws as they come through, or dry their paws as they come through. But I definitely do not have a welcome all. It's a bit like, you know, with vampires, that myth that you've got to invite them in. Well, a welcome mat arguably is a permanent open invitation. So I don't have one of those, because it isn't just vampires of old folklore that would come into my house. It would be the others, the wee little boogers, and anything else. So as well as having strong wards up and everything else, I would never have a welcome mat in my house. You do have loads of pics of dead family members around your room. Then call on one. Maybe. I mean, it sounds weird, but you know how little kids used to... And I'm sure... Listen, I said little kids. I'm sure adults do as well. I just don't know whether you're one of them. But you know where people do that? What is it? As I lay me down to sleep, I pray the Lord my soul to keep... Something. It's in the Metallica song. If I die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. I'm sure there's more of it, but that's the only 4 lines that's in the Metallica. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. alert. It's Mr. Sandman. There we go. Okay, Nanette, my darling, have a lovely day. And yeah, well, hopefully we'll speak to you again soon on a live. Your good friend Bear says the same about a welcome mat or anything else like sign that says welcome. Absolutely. Absolutely. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. If I have a mat that says go away or worded more strongly, that would be more protective. Absolutely. Absolutely. If you had a mat that basically had the middle digit and the words F off on that mat, chances are you're not going to get any Jehovah's Witnesses knocking at your door. If you're in the States, you're not going to get any of the Mormons knocking at your door. You're probably not going to get you will still get random, you know, pizza takeaway menus shoved through your letterbox, because there's nothing you can do about that. You know, you could put a sign up saying I am allergic to all wheat, dairy and tomatoes and peppers and onions and anything in a pizza, and you'll still get inundated with pizza like takeaway menus through your front door. But yeah, absolutely. I also think that is something that would genuinely help. Why not? Because you are literally putting it out there, out into the universe that nobody is welcome here. Do not cross this threshold. You shall not pass. I've seen that on many a front doorstep. Not personally. I've seen the front doorsteps on places like Amazon and somewhere else. I have lost. If anybody knows, right? I know we're just chatting normal nonsense now. If anybody does want a tarot reading, please do just ask. But there is that thing of on geeky, alternative, nerdy kind of websites. I have seen them with Gandalf. That's it. My brain was going to Dumbledore and I was like, no, it isn't Dumbledore. But they've had Gandalf on with "You shall not pass" on the doormat. I think that is so cool. I would have one of those. You used to have a doormat with a pentacle on many years ago. I think I've got one in the lounge that has become where the dog's water bowl and biscuit bowl is, that says "Shoes off, witches." I quite like that one. I think we had one before that was another Halloweeny one. It said "Beware, do not pass" or something, or "Beware, no entry," something like that. It was like, you know, with the yellow police tape or whatever it is that they have in the States. In this country, it's really crappy blue and white. But anyway, that tape, you know, that they have at Halloween, where it's like zombie outbreak and all of that. That tape was on a doormat that said, I'm sure it said, "Beware, no entry," or words to that effect. Anyway, so yes, I truly think that would work. Sorry, we fly. Also, it's flying insect season. It's flying insect season. So I need to sort out my door curtain. You know what I mean? It's not a beaded door curtain, and it's not one of those plastic ones from the 80s with all the different colours on. It is a nice one, but I need to sort that out. It just reminded me, so I'm reminding myself. Anyway, I think if nobody else wants a reading on tonight's live, I think that we might just end it here for tonight. And I think that's probably the best option, is to end it here briefly and I will see you all back again on Sunday. Don't forget though, by the way, we do have the other channel that me and Rufus are on. That channel is yay! Oh, that is awesome. Holland is just, I'm going to need to show them. Hang on a second, Holland. Let me open. How can I open it? Open with another app. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. Does it give me an option for what other app? Nope, it's just opened. Right, okie dokie. So, hang on. Look at this. I'm doing this on the fly. On the fly. On the fly. I am doing this on the fly. That's not what I need. That's probably what I need. Oh, hold on. 1 second. 1 second. Why is this like this? Oh, Hold on, everybody. Do bear with 1 moment. 1 moment. Not ready. I keep singing, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, in the way of SpongeBob. That's also another thing that I am doing a lot of this previous week. Nope. Bear with. Controlling Z. Right then, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it the easy way, I think. And we will do this and image, and it could just be called image, and the image is, oh, see what happens when I'm not ready for it. Nope, not that, that's why it's not going to work, Lisa. Hold on, everybody, we'll do this. Talk amongst yourselves for 2 seconds while I am trying to bring this up. Window capture, that's what I'm trying to do, and we want to capture this one here. Yay, got there eventually. We got there eventually. So there we go. That there is what the mat says. So it does have a swear wordy on it, so apologies to people if you get offended by swear wordies. I am trying incredibly hard not to use swear words anymore on the YouTubes because YouTube doesn't like it, and unfortunately that means that the channel has been, I'm not going to say shadow banned, but to that effect. But yes, there, look, nope, there it is, right, just right there. It says, please go the F away. I like that a lot, and I'm guessing, you can't see it, but I am guessing by the fact that it has a little, there you go, it looks like this. I'm guessing it is an Amazon product that is available. 3.9 stars out of 49 reviews. Not bad, but I do think that's quite funny. Yes, I do think that is quite amusant, très amusant. So yes, there we go then. That looks awesome. So if you want to get yourself one of those, have a look on that there, Amazon. I'm sure it's available on other worldwide websites as well. Oh, Holland's what's Holland just bought? Hang on. Yay! Oh, now then, this is one that I can get behind. Which one is it? Is it this one? Is it this one? Is it this one? Huh? Oh. Right, 1 second, everybody. 1 second. I need to open it again. Here we go, and here we go. I need to open it again. It's gonna take just 1 second. I need to open it again. Here we go. It's 1 second. I need to open it again. Why won't that bloody work? Hello. WA004. WA004. No, I don't have that. Why don't I have that available? This is very annoying. Computer. Sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Here we go. Yay, I found it. I had to go all the way through the system to look at that. There you go. Look, Holland has just bought this, purchased this for their front step. I think this is awesome. Awesome sauce. Is that what people say? I think this is absolutely awesome. And yes, for me, you could quite happily place under the mat or on the back of the mat. If I just sit, I'm going to sit this side. If you wanted to, underneath the mat or on the back of it, you could always draw a sigil or a pentagram, a banishing symbol, anything like that. If you wanted to help lock in the fact that this would be used not just to deal with human type folks that you don't like, but also to deal with it on a more energetic level as well. I have been known in the past to write on the back of or draw on the back of doormats. Also, I have been known to put what's it called, like the thing that rub chalk, to use a chalk on the outside, not on the outside, on the back of a mat, which even when you can't see it, you've still drawn it, so it is still there. But obviously if it's something that you can physically see, it does hold perhaps a little bit more sway. But there you go. I think that is awesome, actually. I really do. I might have to go looking at that as well. You like that as well, Patricia? Yeah, I think that is an awesome thing. And I also love the fact that as much as a lot of people don't like, you know, that particular billionaire's company, I do also kind of appreciate the fact that we can buy stuff like this from all around the world. So yeah, especially, you know, in the UK, we don't have tariffs on China. Just saying. Thank you everyone for your company this evening. Yep, please come and join us next time on Sunday. Until then, stay safe and remember, be kind to yourself and each other. Thank you very much, Patricia. I wholeheartedly agree. You'll get your actual smudge stick lit before bed. Yeah, absolutely. That's probably not a bad idea, Ed, to be honest. Oh, no worries. And ring your bell. Yes, exactly. Ring your bell. You have... I read that wrong for a split second. You have bells on your keys. That's good. I have them on my handbag and on my... I know, right? I know. Aesthetic Doubters. I've got to have the... Aesthetic Doubters just become a member. Wow, I didn't see that. Hello, my friend. Were you a member all this time, or has it just happened? Has it just happened? Or have you been a member for a while and I just haven't clocked that? Wow. I know, right? You tell him, Ed. Absolutely. Thank you, Curious Holland. Do please come and have a look on the next live, Sunday at 7 p.m. or Tuesday at 7 p.m. And when we do have a little gap like this, we tend to talk a bit of nonsense. So that's always a good thing on this channel, because as you can tell, we have a lot of interaction from our mods and our regular subscribers. And I've also got to say a huge monumental thank you to all of our members. You allow me to do things like purchase this other camera, like this one up here, hello, which has cleaned up tonight's stream no end. It looks so much better, so thank you very much for that. If you haven't done already, do hit your subscribe button, ding your bell so that YouTube notifies you each and every time I upload a video. Change your settings to all to get that. And as I always say, stay you, stay true, stay authentic, and I will see you on the next one. And yeah, have a lovely week. Members, I will be sending out a little bit later, confirming tomorrow if I'm going to be going live on the Sunday. On the Friday. I probably will be this coming Friday evening. So make sure you stick around and just have a look at your app. On the what's it called? The other one, YouTube. Have a look on YouTube for that. Right then, everyone, I will love you and leave you, and I'll hopefully see some of you at 6 p.m. on Sunday evening. If not, 7 o'clock as usual. Bye-bye.
Join the Crow Collective. Help to support this channel by becoming a member here on YouTube. From £2.99 per month, you will gain access to members-only perks, live streams, competitions, sneak peeks and more. Just click on join for more information. Thank you to all our members.
They're witches.
So, apparently I'm a witch.
'Cause she's a witch.
I'm the love witch.
I am a witch.
I am a witch.
I'm a witch.
Sally just came out.
Now the witch is back.